Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, Lesbian Detectives. Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here talking about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. So this month is Halloween month.
Ooh, scary.
So this month we will only do Halloween cases. So it'll probably be an unsolved murder or a missing person that happened on Halloween.
Oh.
But we also probably have a little sneak episode in.
A bonus episode?
Yes, we might have a bonus episode. And I heard this case before. It's a solved murder, so it's not like our specialty, but I feel like it's very important to tell this story. So it's kind of not like what we usually would do, but I feel like it's very important to tell this story during Halloween.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy this month of spooky stories. Trigger warning on this case right here.
Okay.
So if you listen to it with a kid around or somebody that shouldn't hear it, please put your headphones on or just wait until they leave. Because it's a trigger warning case.
It involves
Rape. And this is the case of Terressa Vanegas. Teresa was born on August 9, 1990. Teresa had a big family. 2 parents, 2 sisters, and 1 brother. Grandparents, and her dog, Tinkerbell. In an interview with ABC 13, Teresa's sister stated that they love doing each other hair and nails, all the girly things they love to do. Teresa loved her long, wavy hair. Her brother has said that she enjoyed being with her friends and having a good time, and she also was a good student. Teresa reportedly was very close with her grandmother, Betty. In an interview with Galveston Daily News, Betty said that Teresa spent a lot of time at her home during the summer and also the weekend. She had been living with her grandma since she was a child, up until the time of her death. Betty said that Teresa has always wanted to be around her, and she was very insecure around other people. Her grandma said that Teresa described her house as a sanctuary. Halloween of 2006 was the last night that Teresa was ever seen alive. According to reports, that day started normally, a typical Tuesday where she went to school at Dickinson High School. Teresa was reported to visit multiple friends' house after school. It is later at night where Teresa's activities get kind of tricky. That night, Teresa planned to meet a guy 3 years older than her. He was actually 19 years old. At this person's house, Teresa reportedly met him through a website called dopehouseworkers.com about 3 months prior. However, it's a little strange. Dopehouseworker.com is a website for recording labels near downtown Houston, about an hour away from Dickinson. So I actually looked up this website. It's still around. And it's kind of weird that they met. I wonder if they met in the comments and started, talking there, because it's a recording label, website.
Yeah.
So, you can meet anybody anywhere these days. You never know.
Exactly. We met at Walmart, according to your lie. But we really met on POF.
We won't say that part now. Because only Deborah, she knows. You snitch on my ass.
Yeah.
The man is reportedly from Abilene, Texas, which is roughly 6 hours away from where Teresa stayed. Teresa reportedly called worker guy around 10 p.m. that night as she told him that she was having trouble finding a ride to his house. There's no information on how long this call was, but she told him that she was having trouble finding a ride there and she was at a convenience store looking at a map. It is not clear if this call was made from her house or somewhere else. Cell phones were not uncommon in 2006, but there are no reports stating whether Teresa had one or not. If she had this person's phone number, perhaps he wasn't some internet guy. Police has not released any information about this person, but they know Teresa talked to him, and what she said is likely they had interviewed him and possibly cleared him of any involvement of Teresa's murder. But we do not know if Teresa actually went to his house or not. We kind of figured that she didn't because of a lack of ride. So it never stated that if she went or not. So that's the part where it's kind of tricky at.
Okay.
Multiple sources stated that she was seen at a Halloween house party around 11 p.m. on California Avenue. David initially reported that another witness saw her at a different party, perhaps at a later time around 12:30 p.m. It should be mentioned that these parties are 2 streets away, about 1 mile from each other, and that they are actually right across from each other. David reported that one of Teresa's friends saw her talking to an older man at the party. It is not clear whether this man was somebody she knew or was it the guy that she's supposed to meet that morning. David reported that some witnesses saw Teresa at a gas station and convenience store nearby. Today, that gas station is still there. It's about half a mile away from California Avenue, likely the same one that she went to that night. There is no time associated with when she was seen there, and this has not been confirmed. According to David, a police attempted to verify this information, but the tape from the security camera has been overridden by the time they got there.
Was it purposely?
So I know that some gas station or stores, the camera footage don't last long.
Which I know that, but that was my question. Was it purposely or was it on a schedule?
It was on a schedule.
Schedule is understandable.
Mm-hmm. Teresa never returned home. She was last seen wearing a white button-down dress shirt, a blue pants from the brand Dickies. The next day, her parents reported her missing. In an interview with ABC 13, her grandmother, Betty, said that she assumed Teresa was still with her friends. She had known her to disappear for a couple of days to hang out with her friends. However, this would not turn out to be the case. On Friday, November 3rd, 2006, a man riding a motorcycle found Teresa's body face down in an empty field, roughly 200 or so yards from her high school. According to the Galveston Daily News, the man called the police to report the body at 12:21 p.m. It is not quite clearly exactly what this field was. There are some conflicting reports, but it was reported to be an unused practice field for soccer team. Multiple sources stated that Teresa's body was face down in a shallow grave, and some stated in a pool of water.
The police did not release many details about her cause of death, but they did state that it was a homicide. Most of the information available comes from her parents, who have revealed in multiple places several pieces of information from what happened to Teresa. According to reports, Teresa had been badly beaten. Her mother, who identified the body for the police through a picture note that they did not let her see the body, noticed that her face was bruised and swollen. David Lohr reports that her dad was able to see the body before the funeral and saw bruises on her face and also noticed cuts on her hands. The funeral was a closed casket, which would imply that her body was too gruesome to show to the public. Her parents state that Teresa was raped, and Lohr reports that her shirt had been ripped, and she was found with her pants pulled down to her knees. It has not officially been reported by police, but multiple sources state that she was likely strangled with her own belt and that it was still tight around her neck when her body was found. One detail that hints to the culprit being someone who knew Teresa was that her hair was cut short.
That's sad because if you remember, her brother said that she loved her hair. She loved it how long and wavy it was. And also, like her father seeing her body and he said it was like unrecognizable.
Yeah.
That's hard for a parent. They didn't even let her see them. And they had to be closed casted. The only reason it's closed casted because the body's too
Gruesome.
And she was just remember, guys, she was just 16 years old when this happened.
As mentioned earlier, her hair was important to Teresa. Teresa's friends and family searched the area near the field where she was found and found 2 items belonging to Teresa, her glasses and her hair clip. They turned the items over to the police. It is unclear whether this area had been searched before. According to lore, a witness later came forward and stated that they saw a man of white complexion and long black hair leaving the area near her body shortly before she was found, but nothing else is known about this man. According to the information available at the time of the murder, police were not sure whether she was killed in the field or if she was moved there afterwards. Per Galveston Daily News, initial evidence suggested that she had been killed elsewhere, but nothing definitive. Police said that she had been dead for roughly 2 days by the time her body was found. So it is possible that she was killed the very same night she disappeared.
That's sad.
If her body was indeed moved from one location to another, it would make sense that no one noticed her body for 2 days, which really was close to her high school. This would be quite disturbing because that would likely mean that the perpetrator either committed the act of beating her, raping her, and strangling her, then kept the body in that state for 2 days before discarding her. In the field where it was soon found, or even worse, they transported the body from another location, then staged it by pulling the belt around her neck and pulling her pants down. Personally, I think it's more likely that she was attacked in the field. Her glasses and hair clip were found nearby, perhaps indicating a struggle. The way her body was found is consistent with the killer perpetrating the act, then immediately leaving unless the body was staged post-mortem, as mentioned before. It is also worth noting that Teresa was reported to be around 5'3" and 210 pounds, so it would perhaps be a little difficult to move the body. It is possible that the police may now know more about how the murder went down, but I couldn't find any information on it. Very little information has been released by police, but they did state that they have found DNA on her body. They did not say what the source of the DNA was or where it was found. If she was sexually assaulted, which her parents says she was, it is possible that this was semen. Perhaps it was blood or hair from the killer. In a recent interview with ABC 13, the original investigator in the case said that they are still investigating 10 years later. In the interview, he said over 45 people have been interviewed in connection to this case. Exactly 10 years after her disappearance, on November the 1st, 2016, the Dickinson Police Department made a Facebook post about Teresa's unsolved homicide. The post has some interesting paraphrasing. There have been significant developments during this time. However, investigators are looking for additional information that would help them gather enough evidence to make an arrest and give Teresa's family closure. It is unclear whether this means they perhaps have a suspect or need more evidence, or that they are still trying to gather evidence. Teresa's case is often linked to the Texas Killing Fields, 50-mile stretch of land close to Interstate 45 between Houston and Galveston. The location became famous after 4 bodies were discovered near a 25-acre plot of land located by the Calder oil fields. Calder Road is a League city and roughly 6 miles away from where Teresa's body was found. Since the 1970s, the cases of over 30 murders and disappearance of young women have been associated with this patch of land. It has been described as a serial killer's burial ground. And due to the desolate land, many people believe that multiple serial killers are operating within this area. But not many cases have been officially connected. That is something I was going to say. Looks like it is either multiple serial killers or the same busy serial killer.
But I'm going to bring this topic up in the theories. But I thought about a serial killer as I, was doing information. It's one thing that is going to, I can't put together with a serial killer. So I will tell you guys in my theories. But I just have an idea who I think it might be, but we don't know.
Of the cases listed in the TKF wiki, only one seems to match up with the timeline of Teresa. The body of 23-year-old Sarah Trusty was discovered in the Texas City Dike on July 28, 2002. She was attacked 4 years before Teresa, and the dike is 16 or so miles from Dickinson High School. However, no information on how she died has been released. It is my personal opinion that Teresa's death is not necessarily related to these other murders and disappearances. To this day, we have no arrest made in connection to this case, and Teresa's family are still looking for answers. If you have any information that could help solve this case of Teresa's, please contact Dickinson Police at 281-337-4700 or Galveston County Crime Stoppers at 281-763-8477. Tips can be submitted anonymously.
But before we end this case, let's always remember the person we talk about, Teresa. She was a 16-year-old girl that life was ended too soon.
Yep.
She had so many dreams and goals, but somebody evil took that away from her. She had the most beautiful, longest hair ever. She had the cute little chubby little cheeks that you just want to squeeze. Before we end this case, please remember Teresa Vanegas. And let's get into some theories. So, you or me?
Go.
I think it was somebody that she knew that hurt her.
Because of the hair.
Because of not even just the hair, it's that they went to her high school. They went to an empty field. They must know the location.
The high school area.
Yes, they know like, okay, nobody go behind this. It's an empty field. Nobody really go here. It could have been like a place where people go out to smoke or drink or even have sex. So probably like a known land, because we had that at my high school, or people will go to get away from like the teachers and stuff like that. Like people say on the bleachers, you just go there. Only reason I think it was somebody she know, it just seemed like how her family spoke of her, is that she was very like street smart. She knew not to go with somebody she didn't not, chill with. Because her family said like she go missing for days and would be with her friends and, hanging out and chilling. So that's another thing that made me wonder who it was. I don't think it was a recorder guy who she met online. I don't think it was him. Only reason was because when they said that she called him at 10 o'clock and he was a 6-hour drive away. She said, if she supposed to went to his house, so she supposed to went 6 hours away to visit him, and she called him and said, hey, I don't have a ride. It can't be possible if somebody saw her at 12:30 that he automatically came. They saw her talking to an older man. So it's like the time period, he couldn't drive that fast. You cannot drive that. You can't do a 6-hour drive in 2 hours.
Unless they did agree to meet at a certain time and then she canceled and said, I can't make it.
Well, they said that she called him at 10. Mm-hmm. So,
well, what if that was the time that they were supposed to meet?
But she's supposed to meet him back at his house.
Or maybe back at his hotel, wherever he was staying. Maybe it's a translation or miscommunication.
Right. I mean, that could be a possibility. But for some reason, I don't know. What if it's like a friend of hers? She probably was upset and they were like, oh, come on, let's just go for a walk and chill and just talk, because she's supposed to have met her internet person that she was talking to. What if she was upset and a friend was like, just go for a walk and just chill? And, that would have happened. They probably had a crush on her and tried to kiss her. And she was like, no, we're just friends. And that's when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, the other person
got rejected.
Felt rejected or got jealous because she was trying to meet somebody else.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if I can't have you, no one else can.
No, it's not even kind of like that. He probably just got mad that he got rejected. Or like, why you want to be with this guy? He's not even here to see you. You know how young people around that age think.
So you don't think it's cause enough for that person to rape her and kill her?
No, I think you shouldn't do that. If somebody reject you, you shouldn't get mad. I mean,
no, you shouldn't, of course. But what I'm saying is, could that also be a suspect? The person that she rejected?
Yeah, that person could be a suspect. That's what I'm thinking might be. I think it's somebody that she knew. I don't think it was like would she have told him that she loved her hair? It had to be somebody. I feel like when he cut her hair, he wanted to humiliate her. Yeah. He wanted to make her feel how she made him feel. He wanted to take that power back. And I feel like the reason why she was screaming was because he didn't want, people always say when somebody's screaming, it's very personal. You have to make eye contact with that person when you're strangling them. And that anger and stuff like that. And then the police said that they don't know if she was killed there or somewhere else. I feel like she probably was killed there because why would they just pull her pants down, rip her shirt there? No, they probably got her dress or carried her. And then also she was 210 pounds. That would have been hard to carry with that weight. I'm a big girl. You probably got to chop me up to get me somewhere else. I'm just going to be honest with everybody.
I don't think she was moved.
I don't think so either.
Because that's a lot.
And then the craziest thing about it, she was murdered on a Tuesday. And they found her 2 days later, right? So that's like a Thursday. Probably a Friday. Let's do it Thursday or Friday.
But even somebody to overpower her, because she was a big girl. Mm-hmm. And no offense to anybody.
I'm a big girl, so it's okay.
But it needed to be somebody big to overpower her. A lot of high school students, they're still developing or they haven't really finished developing. I wonder what the profile is for the person that she was talking to online. Mm-hmm. Or one of her friends that might fit the profile.
Right. I can see that. Also, a point I would like to make is why they haven't redid the DNA now. Because it's been a lot of cases back in the 70s, 80s that they can make a profile with the DNA. They can say how the person's age was when it happened, the color, the race, the blood type, everything. And they also can put it into different platform where people gave that DNA and they can profile it of that person. Yeah. It could be their great-great-great-grandsister, auntie, cousin, and they're okay, and they can follow that family tree until they get to that person. Yeah. I wonder if they can do that for this case because it's been happened so many cases. I wonder if they can do it because it seemed like she fought. They said she has marks all over her face. It seemed like she didn't go down with a fight. She fought for her life. And it seemed like she made sure, I don't know. I wonder if it's semen that they found or was it under her fingernails? That could be another thing that they found. And the person who cut her hair, he didn't leave it there. He took it with him.
They did see somebody with light complexion and hair. I wonder if they ever followed up on that.
Probably because they haven't look at, because they don't know how they just say he was light skinned, probably white complexion and all of that. So we don't.
But they never saw him get
Yeah.
inside a vehicle or anything like that. I really want to know who she was talking to.
Online?
Yeah, and see if that matches. And then the other thing too, like you were mentioning, DNA. They have DNA. What are you doing with it? Is it just sitting there?
Just sitting there.
That makes no sense.
I wonder if the family can, or even us, like we can make a petition. I wonder if we can do something like that. Like we can try to have the police, because we are in Texas. We are like, 4 hours from Galveston. I wonder if we can say, hey, run the DNA, because I wonder if that person has, because it seemed like how she was murdered, this person got anger issues.
Oh, clearly. And
so the DNA should be in the system by now. Say he was 16 when this happened, or 17. He should be in the system by now. Let's run that DNA back again. I wonder if they have, sometime with some cases, they put the DNA in the system so they would get a hit. I wonder if they did that. If not, send that DNA to someone that can make the family tree, give us a profile of what this person is and the age, get some information. I mean, they're not going to tell us, but come on, we can do that. It's so many cases that have been solved like that. We can solve, because you got the most important thing, the DNA.
The DNA, yep.
That solves every case. You can't hide from DNA. You can't.
Yeah, kind of to your point, anybody who commits a sort of crime like this, when it comes to rape and murder, they're most likely going to do it again. 2006, I remember that's when the Motorola Razr cell phones came out, where you would go into the web page, but you couldn't really like go into all the web pages because it was just like the mobile ones.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But I do remember that time period. I don't think we really necessarily still had tracking devices. I think even the pictures, you were like, oh, like it's all pixely. Like, I don't know if I can make it out. But I do remember that time, and we did not have really GPS location at the time. But I mean, what was the last call that she made, and who was she hanging out with?
Well, the police don't even know. They know that she called the guy, but they don't know she had a cell phone or not. They never reported that, so we don't even know.
And then somebody said that they had seen her with somebody else or something. Did they ever follow up with that person?
That's what this case is killing me about, that we don't have information. Usually you have some information, all that. They are really, I wonder if they're keeping it to themselves for a reason, because they probably have somebody in mind. Well, if they have somebody in mind, they can just easily like DNA them, you know? DNA have evolved, like technology have evolved since 18 years ago. So we should have something on this case. I hope that cold case department can look up in this case, like, oh, we found something. No, do something about it.
Right.
Last time we really see anything done was like, 2016? That's too long, my man. That's too long. I just wonder, have they ever thought about doing that DNA profile like we talked about?
Right.
Because it's very important, because a lot of cases don't even have DNA. They don't have nothing, but this case has the DNA.
Right.
So, man, run the DNA. Run that DNA. That's all I have to say. Run that DNA. Make the profile. Do the ancestry. If y'all need me to come down there, I'll do it. I love doing like family tree stuff like that. I'll sit there for this case. You know, I really would work. It's too many people out there that we can do this for. Technology. So do something. Like this. It's like sometimes when you see a case and you're like, oh, it could be solved like this one right here. Do something. You have the DNA. Run the profile. The DNA is the most important thing.
Yep.
So I remember one case I heard about, they had the DNA. They had like a little bit left because they kept using it, and they used a little bit, and they found the person that committed the murder. Don't remember the case name. Please, guys, sorry about that. But they figured it out, and they profiled that person. They went through step by step, and I watched it. I was like, man, this is amazing. It was on Max, guys. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
They have the resources to close this case. We have the technology. We have the DNA. What are we missing here?
Nothing. What a police officer to go and do it. And
effort.
Yeah, effort. You're right. Effort
on part of the investigation team. Okay, come on. Let's get off our ask and let's do it.
Because I wonder why they're like not saying, oh, she was raped, she was this, but the parents are like, yes, my daughter was, raped, she was strangled, she was all of it. I wonder why the parents are saying all this, but the police isn't.
I have one question though. The plot where they found all these women, did they have anything in common as far as like a certain age group, a certain color hair?
It was-
if it is a serial killer, they have a type or they go for a certain type of person.
It was only cases similar to her, and we spoke about that lady, and it doesn't seem like it's a possibility that it was her. You know what? I want to do a case on her. I try to look up information on her, but I feel like it's important to tell her story too. So I think a couple of weeks, probably after, our spooky month, that I probably will tell her story. It's important to tell her story. Hopefully I can get a lot of more information, do a lot more research to tell her story too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a serial killer. Because if she was his first victim, I can see that he messed up a little bit. But the seeming with a serial killer, he's not going to use that. He's not going to leave that most important part of the story.
But the thing about it is, serial killers, well, I found this in Dexter. I don't know if it's true or not. Serial killers like trophies.
Mm-hmm.
So what if they cut her hair as part of the trophy that she so dearly loved?
But there's been more cases like that, the hair cutting. There's not a lot of cases out there with the hair cutting. That's an important detail of a story.
Or maybe, yeah, I guess. Or maybe they cut enough to where it's not noticeable.
I wonder, so a serial killer would probably do it after she was dead, to take the trophy. I wonder whether it was before or after she died. Because you can tell how the hair is, whether the person was dead or not. So I wonder if she was alive or not.
I bet this sick person still has that hair though.
Probably so. I think if they find the hair, they found the person. Because it seemed so, because they didn't leave it behind.
No, they took it. And they saw somebody like complexion.
If this person really was just cutting to be mean, they would left it. They would have left it, forget to leave it. But they seem like they took it with them for a reason. And that's why I said it seemed like somebody had a crush on her and was obsessed with her to take that important thing. Because they went for the most important thing that she loved was her hair. I think, gosh, you see in the pictures and on our social media, she had long, beautiful hair. It was beautiful.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to rule out the serial killer just because I feel like cutting the hair is part of the trophy.
Like we always say, everybody's a suspect.
All right. Until proven innocent.
This case is hard. It's hard, guys.
It's hard, but it doesn't have to be.
It could be solved.
Yes.
It could be solved. I feel like every case could be solved. But this with the DNA, it could be solved.
And we need to find whoever this is so more women do not come up missing or get hurt because of this perpetrator, this sick person.
Right. Think about if they have his DNA and he was already in the system years ago and they never put his DNA in the system. What if he hurt more women and they could have stopped him because they didn't do the DNA?
Right.
That's the craziest thing to me because his type of violence against her, it seemed like he would do it again.
Right. A sick person like this does.
So I wonder...
Especially how you said that they choked this person. It was personal.
With the belt.
Yeah.
Man. Hard case.
Yeah.
This is our first really graphic case out there. Yeah. Well, Missy was graphic too. So, everybody, tell us your theories on this case. I would love to hear what you have to say. Anybody who actually from Galveston that know about this case, please DM us and tell us what you heard about locally. We would love to hear it. Anybody who have any information on this case, please call the police department and give them the lead that they need to solve this case.
Yes.
We are on all social medias. We are on YouTube. We are on all major podcast platforms. Please follow us on Spotify and Apple. Like, subscribe, comment. This is Lesbian Detective. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And everybody's a suspect.
Until proven innocent.
Bye. See you next week.
Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved case. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, Lesbian Detectives, Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready, let's go.